What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking you through my first 50 miles of my HD11, some of the accessories I've added, my first impressions. I'm at about 230 to 240 miles. Here's what I think of it, here's what I've added, and hopefully you get something out of this and it helps you out too. All right, so yeah, this is my 2026 AM Defender HD11 Limited. I bought it back in November of last year. Funny saying that because it's just barely turned 2026, but yeah, my family grew just a little bit and I needed to get a new 4-door rig. I had kind of tossed around the idea of getting a HD10 to save a little bit of money, but with the new technology and the new things coming out, I had to see what all the fuss was about. I did go and sit in every machine, test out a couple of machines. You guys know we love Can-Am, but at this price point, you want to make sure you're getting, you know, the best that you can for your budget. So I did test everything out and try a bunch. And after sitting in this, riding in this, it was a no-brainer. I do believe that this machine is light years ahead of anything else that's come out on the market so far as drivability. That's probably the #1 thing I can tell you guys about this machine is the accessories are cool, the stuff you can buy is cool, the way it looks is cool, but second to none, drivability is probably the #1 thing I cannot state enough about this machine. It feels like you're driving a car. There's just nothing like it on the market. Everything else feels slapped together compared to this. Everything is smooth, zero vibration, very quiet. Everything is tight. Everything works and feels like it's been very well thought out. The bushings are all changed. The arms are all changed. There is so much changed on this rig that doesn't meet the eye when they did the release on it. And I'm going to try and kind of go through some of that stuff with you in this video and along with some of the accessories that I've added. So right off the bat, the first thing I bought was the hood-mounted LED light bar. It's a smart LED bar, and it works really good. However, don't be me. So I bought the light bar, and I was instantly getting ready to, I took it out of the box, installed it, and then I realized that it was just a cord with no end, right? So at that time, I didn't realize that you needed to buy the ACM with it or a separate wire harness. So I just had a light bar that didn't work at all. So I did a bunch of research and kind of found out that to order to work on any of these smart accessories, like the light bar or like the rear mount light or any of that kind of stuff, you need to install what's called an ACM. The ACM sits just under here. Right below this box, there's a mount for it, and it's basically the accessory control module that talks to, it's like the brain, I guess you would say, of all the electronics in here. And you get that, and you get the wire harness to make it go. If you can see, I don't know how dirty it is in here. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so you can see there's a bunch of wire harnesses and stuff you got to install to make all this work, or you can have your dealership do it, but then all the light bars and all the lights will work properly. So yeah, the accessory control module will run all your lights. It will wire everything up. It does also have a harness that runs up the inside of here and will allow you to connect things up on the inside of there. Right behind here, there's also another panel to connect not only your smart windshield wiper or your other things like that. So the accessory control module is really cool. It sucks that you do got to buy it and either install it yourself or have somebody else do it, but I understand why Can-Am did it, because that would have probably raised the price tag about $1,000, right, to have all the electronics in there, and they wanted to be able to provide it at a point where everyone could afford it. So I do understand why it's not included with the machine. Now, some of the stuff's on back order as we speak. I was able to get one at Big Rock, and then I had to get the accessory control module from Performancy, so I had to go to a few different dealerships to make sure I could be able to run all my stuff. But install wasn't bad once I figured it out. You do get a lot of wires, and it is kind of monotonous at first to look at. But once you just start going through the directions, it's very straightforward. It's not hard. I think anyone could do it. So yeah, anyway, I installed the light bar, then I got the rear mount. Another thing I did is I added these tires, right? So these are 33-inch XTR 370 wheel tires, and then System 3 SB7 bead locks. These are a 4.3 offset. which if I back up a little bit, you can kind of see the stance. I really like it. I dig it a lot. And they don't touch at all, which is nice. 33 stock clears from the factory with no arms needed. Now, that's another thing I'd like to touch on, right? This video might end up long because there's a lot to talk about with these new HT11s. Everything's been beefed way up, right? If you were to compare the old arms to the new ones, it's probably double the size and double the strength. Everything's bigger, everything's more robust. And you can definitely tell that everything's a little bit tighter and a little bit better fitting when you drive it. I also added these fender flares, right? Which is kind of nice because it doesn't throw any mud inside the cab. They're really easy to throw on. That probably only took a few minutes. And then I added these cheap little Amazon $100 mirrors, but you can tell it sticks out. This probably makes your machine about 4 inches wider, 2 inches on each side, which I kind of like because this is going to be a mountain rig for me. Let's see, then what did I do? I'm kind of getting off track here a little bit, but yeah. Then after that, I installed the Snorkels. If you guys haven't seen, I did a video on this. This is really easy to do. Very straightforward. Also, it's like these machines were made for it. You do got to make one little bracket in the back, but I got a whole video covering the Snorkels and how I like them and how they did. I also installed the roof cab light up there, which is really nice. It's got a lot of it's got a lot of modes. It's got like a high mode, low mode, and a smart mode. Smart mode goes off of your ECM when you're going forward or backward. It'll kick on and get brighter and darker depending on how fast you're backing up. And it also has that smart mode that's really nice because whenever you're in your back of your machine, it puts out this like really light, dim white light that makes it so that you don't blind yourself, which I actually really like. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but that's been awesome. Then I installed this cam locker box, right? The reason I did this is because all my gear, back when I had the Can-Am box, used to get wet all the time. That being said, this is completely waterproof. It's got a rubber seal that goes all the way around it, and it's nice and carpeted on the inside, and I can put anything I want in here and not have to worry about it getting wet or dirty. So that's been a really nice addition. I would buy this all over again if I could. My wife bought me this Yeti, which is really nice. These are rough country straps, by the way. I like it just because of how quick it's like one-handed operation. She can get in it holding our babies and stuff. There's actually still some beer and some ice in there from over the weekend. Like I said, I've done a few rides with this machine already. Yeah, and then what did I want to do? I'm a big fan of having the winch up high, so I wanted to move that to the top. So I ordered the bracket. This is super simple to do. You just got to get the mounting plate that goes right under here. You also got to get, technically that's all you really need to buy to be able to move the winch up top, is that mounting plate. You can fish the wires. The wires start in there, and then you got to fish them up through there, which is kind of the longest part, and then you just bolt it down and it's fine. But what I wanted to do is be able to give myself a second winch point, so I bought the pull plate from BRP, the ones that come in the XMR. So I bought that, and then I bought the skid plate because the whole thing has really good skid plates until the front, and the front has no skid plates at all. So I did add the front BRP skid plate. I really like the way it looks. I love the way it turned out, and you can do that with these bumpers. They're the same as the XMR bumper, so that's pretty cool. Back in the day when the first Limiteds first came out, it was not. Yeah. That's really nice to have up there. It keeps your winch a lot cleaner, a lot drier, and it's quick, easy stand-up access. I like this being up here. I will eventually go to a KFI. We have a really good thing going with them. And I'll put a KFI tiger tail and a front winch on it. I just have not got that far yet. I think that's all I've done for the outside. I guess we could talk about my radio system while we're sitting right here. I did buy a Midland, I think it's like an MXT 275 radio, and it comes with this nice little, they call it a ghost antenna. Seems to work really good. The farthest I've had it work is 3 or 4 miles, zero issues whatsoever. Added this tusk mount. I like the way it looks right there. Kind of looks like it belongs. But yeah, so anyway, that's really it for the outside. I think that's about it. So yeah, let's hop inside and we'll kind of talk about some of that stuff. So yeah, the accessory control module will run all your lights. It will wire everything up. It does also have a harness that runs up the inside of here and will allow you to connect things up on the inside of there. Right behind here, there's also another panel to connect not only your smart windshield wiper or your other things like that. So the accessory control module is really cool. It sucks that you do got to buy it and either install it yourself or have somebody else do it, but I understand why Can-Am did it, because that would have probably raised the price tag about $1,000, right, to have all the electronics in there, and they wanted to be able to provide it at a point where everyone could afford it. So I do understand why it's not included with the machine. Now, some of the stuff's on back order as we speak. I was able to get one at Big Rock, and then I had to get the accessory control module from Performancy, so I had to go to a few different dealerships to make sure I could be able to run all my stuff. But install wasn't bad once I figured it out. You do get a lot of wires, and it is kind of monotonous at first to look at, but once you just start going through the directions, it's very straightforward. It's not hard. I think anyone could do it. So yeah, anyway, I installed the light bar, then I got the rear mount. Another thing I did is I added these tires, right? So these are 33-inch XTR 370 wheel tires, and then System 3 SB7 bead locks. These are a 4.3 offset, which if I back up a little bit, you can kind of see the stance. I really like it. I dig it a lot. And they don't touch at all, which is nice. 33 stock clears from the factory with no arms needed. Now, that's another thing I'd like to touch on, right? This video might end up long because there's a lot to talk about with these new HT11s. Everything's been beefed way up, right? If you were to compare the old arms to the new ones, it's probably double the size and double the strength. Everything's bigger, everything's more robust. And you can definitely tell that everything's a little bit tighter and a little bit better fitting when you drive it. I also added these fender flares, right? Which is kind of nice because it doesn't throw any mud inside the cab. They're really easy to throw on. That probably only took a few minutes. And then I added these cheap little Amazon $100 mirrors, but you can tell it sticks out. This probably makes your machine about 4 inches wider, 2 inches on each side, which I kind of like because this is going to be a mountain rig for me. Let's see, then what did I do? I'm kind of getting off track here a little bit, but yeah. Then after that, I installed the Snorkels. If you guys haven't seen, I did a video on this. This is really easy to do. Very straightforward. Also, it's like these machines were made for it. You do got to make one little bracket in the back, but I got a whole video covering the Snorkels and how I like them and how they did. I also installed the roof cab light up there, which is really nice. It's got a lot of it's got a lot of modes. It's got like a high mode, low mode, and a smart mode. Smart mode goes off of your ECM when you're going forward or backward. It'll kick on and get brighter and darker depending on how fast you're backing up. And it also has that smart mode that's really nice because whenever you're in your back of your machine, it puts out this like really light, dim white light that makes it so that you don't blind yourself, which I actually really like. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but that's been awesome. Hopefully you guys can see in here. It can be kind of hard, right? But creature comforts, what I really like about the Defender is they kind of redid the seats a little bit. These are a little bit wider, and I believe they're a 4-degree back tilt is what I was reading online. So they do sit a little bit farther back, which is nice if you're used to the old Defender. It kind of had more of an upright feel. These are a lot more comfortable. Everyone that gets in here like, wow, this is a lot more comfortable. They're a little bit, the back is a little bit more robust. It hugs you a little bit better, and the seats are a little bit more comfortable. What else have I done in here? Let's go ahead and hit the old power button. So, right off the bat, right, you got this little dial gauge. It's a little bit hard to figure out in the very beginning, but after you get the hang of it, it's not. This is like your engine drive modes, and these are your drive train modes, right? So you can have like auto lock or you know, for like your lockers, you can have sport, work. I know you guys are kind of familiar with this, but if you're coming from an older Defender, you might not be. This is your 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, rear diff lock, front diff lock, and then whatever drive mode you want your lockers to be in, whether it's like auto. This is for your radio, your up and down volume, which can also be controlled by your steering wheel, which is really cool. You can kind of program anything you want to be under your controls by hitting like a preferences button. And you can kind of go down to this thing and get this applet switcher thing, and you can put anything you want to be controlled by your steering wheel. I really like that. I have it always set to mute or song change or anything like that, which is kind of cool. This one I like to scroll through some of my maps or features. Like, all you do is press that. You kind of set it up however you want. I'm trying not to get too into the weeds. This video will be super, super long. But what else in here have I done that I really like, that I thought was cool? That was the Midland radio I was telling you about on the outside. It is hooked up to the whole wire goes up through here, and the actual radio's hidden behind here. It's nice and small, so it fits right there. You can see the 2 bolts here. But if you wanted to, you can kind of see, oop.
Southwest wind 10.
Yes, I don't know why that did that, but.
Waves around 2 feet. This is North National Weather Service All Hazards Weather Radio, KHB 37, broadcast.
Anyway, yeah, so that fits up in there nice. It's all hidden. It's very loud. You can hear it. I use this magnetic clip right here so I can take and throw it up and down whenever I want. Quick, easy access. Use it and then throw it right back up, which is kind of nice. This is a quick. I did buy this. You guys don't have to buy this if you get your ACM, but I like it because it's like quick buttons for all your LED light bars. You can turn on your, say you're getting into some crazy stuff, you can have your passenger turn on and off your windshield wipers. You can have your rear lights, your front lights. You can turn them on to auto. You can have them be smart, off. I like it because it's really quick. Sometimes if you have the ACM and you need to control it, you can go to control and you can control everything from the front interface. But if you're like hauling butt or whatever, and you got your gauges up and you're getting after it, sometimes it's nice just to be able to have that quick little switch panel there, which has been really nice. I like it. I would probably buy it again, especially like when you get it, they show you a ton of new accessories that are going to come with for those switches right there, which is pretty nice knowing, hey, Can-Am's got a whole bunch of stuff in store for this machine. So that's pretty cool. This right here is my, it's probably off, but this right here is my tablet for all my maps for West Virginia. We go out there all the time. And I kind of like this because you can just kind of slide it through and make it do whatever you need it to do. But you can also get a magnet and have it be for your phone. And this is just a BRP mount. I did fish. You guys can see this is kind of cool. There's a spot in here where you hook up your cord, and I fished it down through when I did the ACM. And now I just drilled a little hole, and now my cords pop up through there so I can use and have power whenever I need it. But what else have I got going on in the cab here? Oh, this is kind of cool. I think you guys get a kick out of this. I did add a Baja Designs 180 degree red light. It's hard to see during the daytime, but it only shines down a certain length, so it's never in your eyes, but you can see everything the whole time. When it's in there, I'll have to show you guys what this is like at night too, but that thing is super cool, and it's off key power. All I did was splice into that thing. Let's see, what else did I get in here? Tilt steering wheel. Kind of a cool feature. I know that you guys are aware of this, but I don't know what you've seen and what you haven't seen. Especially if you're like a fat boy, it's nice being able to kind of get in and out whenever you want, and it saves memory. So it saves you where your steering wheel is going to go, and it locks right back into place. It's also fully adjustable. You got your winch controls here. You got a place to put your phone down there. You've got a cubby here, which is kind of nice. It also has an accessory port in there for your phone, which you can hook all your BRP maps into. I've been using just the navigation and the maps that are already here and already kind of programmed. I don't know why they're not showing up, but there you go. If you back up a little bit, it'll show you, and it records the whole time you're riding, so that's kind of cool. Let's see what else. I did also put, because if you got kids, you know, these are just off Amazon, and they're like scratch proof, waterproof, everything covers for the back, so my kids can be back here raising holy heck and not have to worry about it. I also like how it comes with a stereo. Does sound pretty good. Might need a subwoofer, but it sounds pretty good for what you get. So it's got 4 speakers internally. Just nice that you don't have to add that. Your phone connects via Bluetooth right away. I've never had any connection issues or anything like that. There you can kind of see some of the signature lighting, which is cool. Really like that also. I am definitely jibber jabbing. I wish this video was a little bit more thought out, but I figured it was something cool to just get out to you guys. I added the underseat storage that comes with them all the time. I just keep coats in there. This is where I keep my drone. It actually fits perfect. I do a lot of filming, so that's where I put that, and it fits in there really nice. You got a little mini storage box. I don't know if you guys knew this was here, but you can pop that down. I just got stickers and stuff in there right now, but you can put them in there. You can put stuff in there that you don't really have to get used to all the time, but there's a cubby here, a cubby here. There's also a cubby here. I've heard about some new accessories coming in that are going to go in this slot for this new gear. AC, one thing I will say, right, is your heat and AC will literally blow you out of this thing. It's a million times better than the old one, and it's definitely better than the Polaris and the other ones. I've kind of been in everything that I can think of, and the heat and AC is far superior to anything else on the market. I think that they nailed it when they did this one, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited to try it in the summertime to see how good it works. I know the windows come factory tinted, which is kind of nice, but I'm going to tint it just a little bit more, and I think the AC is going to finally be able to keep up, especially with this big 4-door. Another cool thing that I like too, along with my jibber jabbing, is that the vents right for the floor. That's kind of cool, so that you can have some heat for your kiddos in the back, which I really like. Let's talk about the overall performance of the machine, right? It's now running a triple cylinder, right, which is kind of cool. One thing that I notice from being someone who had an HD10 for a really long time is that way less vibration, right? The motor's got way less vibration, the drivetrain's got way less vibration, and it's way quieter than the HD10. You step a few feet away from this and you will not be able to hear it running. I really like that. I hunt a lot. Plus, nobody likes to just have a loud machine, right? You can sit in this cab of this thing and have just a normal conversation, no yelling, no nothing. They're getting so close to being like cars, and they spent a lot of time researching this. As you can see, it's got all of the whole thing's covered in like rubber matting, which is really nice because that keeps all the rattles and all the other stuff down. It's got rubber matting all the way front to rear. You can just wash it out. I've done it multiple times already, which is nice. I kind of wish the gas tank wasn't here, but because that one only goes up but so far. But the whole thing's got rubber matting all the way across, which also helps dampen sound and vibration. But when you're in this thing and you're riding, you literally can't hear anything. I've had zero problems with it. I've seen some problems with people having the airbox issue with the snow getting in. I haven't noticed anything like that, even with dust. I think it's because I added the Snorkels as soon as I got it, because we drive a lot of mud parks. We do a lot of river crossings, especially in West Virginia. So I didn't want to have to worry about it. So I bought the Snorkels right off the bat. So I haven't had any problems with any dust getting in there. But it does add a bunch of screws to the covers, as you guys can see there, that aren't normally there. That tells me, like I said in my other video, that BRP doesn't really trust the gasket on that. I'm pretty sure it'll be just a matter of time before people come out with new gaskets, but very happy with the drivetrain. It's got the P-drive clutch, which most of the Defenders have nowadays, even the HD10s. What I will say is that this machine does take a minute to engage. That's probably my number one gripe with it, is when you're getting on it. It's like the RPM's got to be a little bit extra high in order for it to kind of engage. But what I will show you guys, which will be kind of cool. Sorry to keep dragging you all the way out here and keep dragging on the conversation, but this will be something you guys probably ought to see. I ordered a clutch kit from RVS Performance. This is the QSC clutch kit, and I got it all set up to install. And apparently I was talking to Adam from QSC, and he says that this clutch kit will change the entire way this thing drives for trail and performance wise. It's night and day difference. It gets rid of all that slow laggy clutch stuff. I'm really excited to put it in. I am going to do a whole video on installing that. It'll probably be sometime this weekend, so look for it shortly after this. man, I'm forgetting all kinds of stuff. This machine's been freaking great so far. You now get an intermediate windshield wiper. You can change all the different modes on it, but you do got to have the ACM to be able to do that. But you can have it on delay, on multiple different speeds, just like your car now. Trying to think of what else the ACM does. It does a lot of different things in here, and if I've kind of forgotten stuff, just ask me about it in the comments. I could do another video on it. But first off, overall thoughts on this is they knocked it out of the park. I am super happy with this machine. I'm waiting to see kind of how it does up on the mountains, but the suspension's better, the brakes are way better, the fit and finish is a lot better, the design's a lot better. They've moved the oil filters so the maintenance will even be easier. Like, everything's just been way more thought out. It kind of reminds me of just how much time they put into that. Is now kind of put into this also. They've taken a lot of time to think about us, the consumer, the maintenance, and the things that we got to do on them. So I give it a 9 out of 10 with just how happy I am with it so far. Everyone that drives it is like, I got to get one. So that should tell you something right off the bat. Zero problems with it so far. I've got no, complaints about it. I would buy it again in a second. There's nothing I would change. I would do exactly what I've done to it so far. But yeah, this video is really dragged on, so sorry about that. But anyway, hopefully you got something out of this. I appreciate you guys watching. Ask me anything you want to. I'll get you more content. A lot more coming soon. Look for that QSC video. I'm going to do that in the next couple days. Show you guys how to change the clutching on it, because that's my only kind of gripe with it that I don't really care for. Everything else has been awesome. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped. Peace.